Welcome to North Central Technical College's GED HSED Orientation. Congratulations on taking the first step to becoming an adult learner working on your GED or HSED credential through NTC. Whether you are 18 or 80, walking through the door is the hardest part of the journey. When starting something new, you have lots of questions and concerns. Some common ones are, what are the rules? What will other people think of me? How will I find my way around? Who do I go to if I have questions? From this point on, you will have people and resources available to help answer your questions and guide you along the path toward your goal. So welcome to North Central Technical College. We're glad to have you with us. As children, we all grew up in different families with different support. Some may have been encouraged to go to school, while others were not. Some may have lived in a stable situation, while others may have moved regularly. One student shared that she had been in over 17 different schools before she finally gave up going. Some may have grown up feeling safe and secure, while others were just focused on making it day by day. Some adults have shared that it was hard to learn when they were hungry or not sure if they would be safe when they got home. One even shared that he had been in a gang since he was 12 years old, and that school was never a priority. Others have shared that they had the opportunity to get a job before they were able to finish school, and they needed to help their families financially or to support themselves. Students have also had many different school experiences. Some were very bored in school and never felt challenged. Others have shared their frustration with learning in a school setting because sitting for long hours didn't work for them. Some liked school, but didn't like the social aspect. Some have never attended public school and have been homeschooled. One gentleman shared what his experience in school was like. He stated that school had always been difficult for him, and that the older he got, the more embarrassed he was that he had had difficulty reading. When the teacher would call on him to answer a question, he would hit the person sitting nearest him just to get sent home from school. He shared that he was more comfortable being considered the mean kid than the one who couldn't read. When people walk through the doors, we often hear negative comments about past school experiences or about how they viewed themselves in school. This may not be true of you, but if it is, it's time to throw your past experiences and perceptions out the window. As a child, you did not have much say in your education or in your life circumstances. It is a new day, and you are a different person. You are an adult learner. It is time to make this a great experience. Being an adult learner may look very different than anything you have experienced in the past. If you attended public school, imagine the challenge that your teachers had in trying to teach so many students of different academic levels, backgrounds, support systems, experiences, etc. Often teachers try to teach toward the middle of the class, hoping to engage and motivate the most students possible in the amount of time given. This can be frustrating for students because the pace is too slow and they get bored, or for others, the pace is too fast and they feel lost. Hopefully, additional materials and resources can be provided for both groups of students, but often, by the time the teacher realizes these things, the students have moved on to another class or another school. In this case, it would be true to say one size does not fit all. Wouldn't it be great if we could individualize each and every learner's experience? Well, we are hoping to do just that. You have become an expert in you. After all, you have known yourself for a long time. We look forward to you being an active participant in your learning and sharing your expertise. You know how you learn best. Do you like to read about things? Do you like to have someone explain things? Do you learn best by having someone show you? Are you a hands-on learner? What learning style works best for you? There are many theories regarding how we learn, but the three primary models are kinesthetic, auditory, and visual. It will be important for you to share what you know about your learning style with your instructors so they can try to find teaching methods that work best for you. You can begin exploring learning styles by taking this simple assessment. So often in life, we focus on what we need to improve, that we forget that there are things that we are awesome at. Wouldn't it be great to have a boss call you into his or her office and start the conversation with everything that you are doing right? Quite often we minimize these strengths because we feel others can do the same thing. We look at the other person's strengths and often wish we could do or be like them, while in reality, they're probably saying the same about you. Everyone has things that they are awesome at. For each of us, those things are going to be different. Some may be school-related, like being great at math, but many are not. Maybe you're an awesome listener. Maybe you can tear a car apart and put it back together. Maybe you have patience with children. Maybe you think things through before acting. Maybe you're an awesome cook. Take a moment to think about your strengths and write down at least 3. Meet Kid President, otherwise known as Robbie Novak. Although this young man has suffered over 70 broken bones due to a condition that causes him to break easily, he doesn't let that hold him back. Robbie's strength is in motivating people to be more awesome.
It's time to wake up, people. This one goes out to teachers and students. It's time to get on, learn on. And we got a lot to learn, too. I don't know it all, but I know a few things. Science. You hear? You take up space, you matter. It's just science, man. Don't be a bully. Don't even be a bully to the bullies. It just makes more bullies. We can all be awful sometimes. We can all also be awesome. It's time to be more awesome. And that's what it's time for. History. We gotta study it so we don't repeat it. But if history does repeat itself, now I'm gonna name my pet dinosaur Reginald. I just hope he doesn't eat me. We can't just study history. We gotta make history. And history's made by ordinary people. Ordinary people like you and me. And that guy. The world's greatest thinkers. Confucius, Albert Einstein, Justin Timberlake. They put their pants on one leg at a time, just like me. But I put my pants on one leg at a time while I'm dancing. You can go by. Yeah. You're gonna be in the video, though. Life's a school, and you gotta show up. You can't just sleep in. You can't be late. And you can't just hang out in the bathroom, that's gross. It's like what Whitman said, YOLO. Except he didn't say that, but you would know that if you would read a book, baby. Seriously, read a book, any book except the vampire ones. You want to change the world? You gotta know about it. What if Shakespeare didn't go to school? His plays would be even more confusing. To be or not to be? Is that the question? I don't know what a question is. I didn't go to school. Anybody? Help me out here. I got a question for you. What are you teaching the world? How to be boring? How to make the world sad? No, you're not. We're teaching the world what it looks like to be awesome. No matter who you are, somebody's learning from you. Everybody's a teacher and everybody's a student. Look for the awesome. Teachers see things. They see when you're running down the hall. They see when you're passing notes. But they also see the person that we can all become someday. A writer or a speaker or Martin Luther King. Teachers, keep teaching. Students, keep studenting. That's not a word. Sorry about that. Here's to teachers that see the awesome. The homework is this. What do you want to teach the world? Do it. Let's make some history together. Because it's simple math. Together, we're better. Those girls are a little too loud. Is there a teacher who inspires you? Let them know. This is for teachers everywhere. So share it with them. We gotta make the world awesome. Somebody's learning from you. I'm out. Get your learn on. We're making history. I'm gone.
Awesome.
Would you build a house on this foundation? Probably not. When I look to remodel a house, I want to be sure that it has a firm foundation before I start doing any work on the rest of the house. Without a firm foundation, everything else is unstable. Sometimes we have cracks in our educational foundation. These could have been caused by any number of reasons, like moving schools, not attending regularly, not understanding an earlier skill, etc. Whatever the cause, it is good to strengthen the foundation skills before building new skills on top if needed. I remember being excited when we moved that our new math class was using the same book as our previous school. However, they were studying different chapters. This new school gave an initial assessment in math, and it was decided to move my brother into the higher level math class that was studying algebra. The only difficulty was that he had never studied pre-algebra. He found the class difficult, not because he couldn't do it, but because he did not have the previous knowledge to be successful. The solution was to go back and review pre-algebra skills. Remember my story of the gentleman that punched out the student next to him because he was frustrated with reading? Well, here is the rest of his story. Although he did graduate from high school, he felt that his teachers were so intimidated by him that they let him get by with the minimum needed. School was never a positive experience for him. After school, it was difficult to find a job because of his reputation, so he decided to enlist in the military. He was required to take the ASVAB, which is a test the military administers to measure abilities and help predict future academic and occupational success in the military. He said, and I quote, "Guys like me that take the ASVAB don't do well. Our scores get us put on the front line and shot at." However, the one strength he shared was his ability to survive. He survived 20 years on the front lines. During that time, he met a wonderful woman that encouraged him to use his GI benefits when he retired to go back to school to retrain. After completing his first semester of school, he got called into his advisor's office. When asked if he knew why, he replied that he was sure it was to kick him out of school. His advisor asked him, "Did you attend all of your classes?" "Yes, sir, I did." "Did you complete all of your work?" "Yes, sir, I did." Instead of kicking him out, his advisor recognized his need for further assessment and sent him to a reading specialist. This gentleman was diagnosed with a reading disability and was able to receive accommodations that helped him learn and feel positive about school for the first time. He not only completed college, but he went on to become a reading specialist working with individuals in prison. He hopes to help others that may have been that angry kid, just like him in school. Everyone has different strengths and learning styles. If you have a disability or suspect that you may, your first step to setting up needed accommodations or to discuss questions would be to contact the Director of Disability and Testing Services. Letting go of past habits and perceptions can be difficult. However, you are now the adult and are driving the bus. So what are some good habits of successful learners? It is important to ask questions if you do not understand something or need help. Your instructor is not a mind reader, although it would be a nice strength to have. Your instructor is your partner. It's important to have two-way communication. If something is not working or you are frustrated, talk to him or her. Don't walk away without exploring options. There may be tools or different methods that you are not aware of, unless you ask. Having a positive attitude only encourages others to want to help when they know that you are trying as well. Keep an open mind. Did you know that research shows that on average it takes 66 days for a behavior to become a habit? Creating a habit is a process. We have to be careful not to expect change overnight. One step to creating a habit is to establish a routine. I know a young man that was taking an online class while working full-time. Now, knowing myself, I would have struggled with not having a given time to be in class. So I asked him how he successfully managed to get his work done on time. He told me that before his class started, he picked one night that he usually didn't have any other activities. He told friends and family that he had a class on that night so they would know that he would be busy. Then he would block off at least 3 hours and set an alarm to keep him on task. He said he was amazed at how much he was able to accomplish in that amount of time. Typically, that was enough to keep him on top of all his work and assignments. He also shared that if something came up on his school night that he wanted to do, he would swap it with another night later that week. Maybe this philosophy will work for you in setting up a regular schedule. We all have busy schedules which include necessities like sleeping and eating, but also may include work, family, friends, hobbies, etc. There are only 24 hours in a day, so it's important to be real with ourselves and what we can do. Otherwise, we could be setting ourselves up for disappointment. I would rather see someone tell me that they are committing to work in the college prep center 1 day a week than to say that they're going to come in every day that the center is open. Not to say that some people may not be able to make that happen, but if you are successful in coming in 1 day a week, wouldn't it be great to celebrate that success and change your goal to 2 days a week? If I told you that my goal was to become President of the United States by next year, you might laugh. I'm being very specific and time-bound, but I'm not sure how attainable and relevant it is at this point of my life. I'm not saying I should give up on my dream of becoming president, but I might want to set a goal that is a bit more attainable. Maybe my goal could be to become mayor of my city by the next election. I could even break that goal into smaller steps so I could see progress along the way. Take this time to write one school goal and one work goal. We will use these on your personal education plan form that you will be filling out. Some examples have been shown to you. Have you ever ridden on a school or city bus? When you hop on the bus, you are trusting that the driver is going to get you safely to your destination. Maybe you've had that feeling about past school experiences. You might have felt that you had little or no choice in what or how you learned, that someone else was making the decisions, and that you were only along for the ride. If that was true, things are about to change. As an adult learner, you are no longer the passenger. You are now in the driver's seat. However, I would feel a little nervous putting you behind the wheel of a bus without giving you some directions, lessons, and practice. Your instructor or instructors will be acting as a personal GPS, providing guidance along the way. They will be there to provide instruction and direction, but ultimately it will be up to you to get to your destination. To help you navigate, it will be important to gather some information. For a GPS system to work, it needs to know your current location. Where are you? The same will be true for you. It will be important to know where your skills are currently. What do you already know before you start this process? Your instructors will help you determine this through various assessments. If you were to take your car into a mechanic, you wouldn't want him or her to continue replacing parts until they ultimately found the piece that needs working on. You would probably prefer that they did some diagnostic work to find any problem areas and then get to work. This saves time and money in this case. Your diagnostic work begins with foundation skills in mathematics, reading, and language. These will be assessed during the orientation process through something called the TABE tests. These 3 areas are the building blocks that are important to all of the GED subject areas. Remember, these initial assessments are there to help. For example, It would be pretty intimidating to study all that is math. However, through these initial assessments, we might narrow down the need to review or learn how to multiply fractions. These assessments are not graded. They are used as a diagnostic tool to find out what you already know and to help your instructors zero in on any area or areas that you could focus on strengthening or improving. Additional assessments will be used after orientation to continue to individualize your journey. Again, they will be used to help determine what you already know and what area or areas can be strengthened in each of the 4 GED testing areas. The other information a GPS system needs is to know what is your ultimate destination. It might be helpful to know the reasons behind why you're headed there. Some of you may have a specific reason to be completing your GED, HSED. People that have attended orientation in the past have shared such reasons as a family member or significant other encouraging them. They feel that they have left something unfinished and have regrets. Some need it to keep a job or to apply for a better one. Some are doing it to set an example for their own children. Some have future plans that are dependent on getting that piece of paper. One student shared that he had to immediately go to work to support his family when he became a father at 16. He is now retired and coming back to do this for himself. You should have been in the room when he got to use a computer for the first time in his life. He joked that he couldn't wait to go home and borrow his grandchild's computer so he could check his email. For others, this might only be the next step in their journey. Students have shared plans to do things like diesel mechanics, nursing, dairy science, surgical technician, creating video games, making music videos, medical assistant, social work, to name a few. These plans may or may not require further training or schooling. If so, one of the requirements to be eligible for financial aid funding is to have completed your high school or GED credential. To determine admission requirements and financial aid eligibility, contact your school of interest. If you're not happy with your current job, don't have one, or are looking for a change, now is a great time to do some research to find out what might be a good fit or next step in your career path. Take time to do a little exploration and see what might be out there that would be a good fit to your strengths. You may be asking, how long will it take to get my GED or HSED? You will notice that there is no arrival time or speed listed on the GPS. As we have been discussing so far, this is an individual journey. Each person is coming in with different knowledge and background. Each person has a different amount of time to dedicate to this journey. So the best answer to this question, how long will it take, is when you complete the requirements for getting your GED or HSED. The GED test was revised in 2014 to be a 4-subject high school equivalency test that measures skills required by high schools and that are requested by colleges and employers. This was the first time it also incorporated basic technology skills. To be eligible to take your GED tests, you must at least be 18 and a half years old, or the class you were in during 9th grade has already graduated. You also must have lived in Wisconsin for at least 10 days. The GED consists of 4 subject areas. The great news is that you can take your GED tests in any order. Again, you know you best. If you are the type to postpone the one that you are dreading most and keep putting it off and then never finish it, you might want to begin working on that subject area first. Some people feel that everything will come easier after they tackle their biggest challenge first. Others need to have success before they are willing to take on a bigger challenge. You are driving the bus. What would be best for you? Discuss the possibilities with your instructor. All of the GED tests are now taken on the computer. There are very few jobs these days that don't require some use of technology. For example, most fast food restaurants use computerized order systems. Delivery people use GPS delivery systems. Accountants use bookkeeping software. Auto mechanics use diagnostic computers. And some farms use automated milking machines. Many companies require applicants to apply online and submit an online resume. The 2014 GED program ensures that your high school equivalency provides you with the skills and knowledge necessary to succeed in today's digital world. For those that like facts and detailed information, the Reasoning Through Language Arts test, the RLA, is 150 minutes. It consists of 3 sections, includes a 10-minute break between sections 2 and 3, and includes 1 extended response that you have 45 minutes to write. It measures your ability to read closely, write clearly, and edit and understand written English, ability to use evidence to support an argument, and understanding of basic English skills at a level needed to succeed in a college or job. The Social Studies test is 90 minutes, is 2 parts with no break. Part 2 of the test is 1 extended response that you have 25 minutes to write, and it allows you to use an on-screen calculator or bring in your own Texas Instrument 30XS calculator. The test measures your knowledge of civics and government, which is 50%, U.S. history, 20%, economics, 15%, and geography and the world, 15%. Your ability to read, understand, and interpret social studies related text, and problem-solving abilities in social studies related situations. The science test is 90 minutes, has no breaks, includes 2 short answers that take about 10 minutes per question to write, and gives you an on-screen calculator or allows you to bring in a Texas Instrument 30XS calculator. It measures your knowledge of life science, physical science, and earth and space, your ability to write, understand, and interpret science-related text, and problem-solving abilities in science-related situations. The mathematical reasoning test is 115 minutes, has 2 parts with a 3-minute break, does not allow the calculator on part 1, but allows you to use an on-screen calculator or bring a Texas Instrument 30XS calculator for part 2, and gives you some math formulas and a calculator reference sheet. It measures your mathematical problem-solving abilities. The HSED, or High School Equivalency Diploma, includes taking the 4 GED subject area, but includes additional requirements as well. The HSED is specific to Wisconsin. To complete the HSED option, 3 additional subject areas must be completed: health, civics, and employability skills. If you may have completed 1 or more of these requirements in high school, you are asked to request a transcript from the last high school attended for proof of completion of these additional subjects. The back of the Department of Public Instruction, DPI form, documents the various options. There are different types of HSED options out there, one being a 509 competency-based assessment. Your instructor will discuss this option with you if you meet the eligibility requirements. Before you complete your orientation, you will be asked to choose between working on your GED or HSED. This chart gives a visual to compare the two. Caution: if you choose the HSED option and do not complete the 3 additional subjects, you will receive neither the GED nor the HSED credential. If you are considering entering the military, there may be some specific guidelines for acceptance, so you will want to discuss your options with your recruiter. If you are thinking of going on for post-secondary education, NTC recognizes both the GED and HSED for enrollment purposes. However, if you are considering another school, please check with the admissions department of that institution. Did you know? Your GED tests can be scheduled individually, or you can take more than one, but scheduled at least 24 hours in advance. The credentialing fee is included as part of the cost, so you will receive a transcript when you complete. You pay for your test or tests when you schedule with a voucher, debit, or credit card. These include prepaid cards that you can purchase. Discounts and waiting periods apply to retakes. After scheduling your exam at least 24 hours in advance at a Pearson VUE testing center, your GED test or tests will be taken on a computer. Most NTC campuses, as well as local jails, have testing facilities. Your scores are usually available the same day of testing. There are 3 score levels for each subject area. 100 to 149 is considered below passing. 150 to 169 is considered a passing score at or higher than the minimum needed to demonstrate high school equivalency level skills and abilities. If you score 170 to 200, that's considered passing score with honors, at or higher than the minimum needed to demonstrate career and college readiness. You can retest multiple times per year, but a waiting period does apply. Retakes taken within the same year are subject to a reduced rate. If you pass, but still choose to retake the test in an attempt at improving your score, reduced rates do not apply. English and Spanish versions of each test are available. They can be mixed and matched. A marker and laminated noteboard are provided for all tests. This allows you to write notes and erase as much as needed. Scrap paper is not allowed. Calculators are available for use at the College Prep Center and may also be borrowed for the GED exams. Test takers are provided with an on-screen calculator, or they may choose to bring a handheld one in. The calculator may be used on the mathematical reasoning, science, and social studies test subjects. When you are taking the test, it is important to know that you should attempt to answer all questions. There's no penalty for guessing. If you're not sure about an answer, you may skip it and come back to it at the end of the test if time remains. It is possible to enlarge the screen to make it easier to read if needed. You know you best. There is a timer available on the screen, but if that only serves to make you nervous, minimize it. There are many ways to prepare for the GED tests. You need to find what works best for you. There are many resources available to help you prepare for your GED tests. I would encourage you to stop by a college prep center and be sure to make use of the free resources available to you. There are 2 types of practice tests available through your portal on the www.ged.com website. The first is a free quarter-length online test. It will give you an idea of the type of questions that will be in the test, but no predicted score and no diagnostic feedback. The second is a half-length online test for $6. Although talk to your college prep instructor about free voucher opportunities. This test predicts how you will score on the actual test, gives diagnostic feedback, and recommends materials and even particular chapters to review. Part of the assessments will include having knowledge and abilities in basic computer skills. If these skills and terminology are unfamiliar, I would encourage you to call for a free computer or keyboarding class. College prep centers are available at different locations other than just the Wausau NTC campus, although they have the most open hours. These include the regional campuses, Salvation Army, Wausau Job Center, and local jails. Once you've determined whether you are completing your GED or HSED, you will need to officially register on the official GED website at www.ged.com. To begin, you need to open Google Chrome or another internet browser by double-clicking on the icon. Double-click inside the address bar so the address is highlighted. Type www.ged.com in the address bar. Hit Enter. You should now be on the GED website. If you have set up a GED account prior to this orientation, do not set up another account. Instead, you should check to make sure that you can access your account by entering your email and password in the upper right-hand corner. To create your GED account, you will need to enter an active email. You should not use an NTC email address. This should be your personal email account that you can access at any time. If you do not have one, this should be set up first. The website gives you a link to Gmail, Yahoo, and Outlook. There are other free email sites available, but these are provided for your convenience. You will then need to enter your email and create a password. You are encouraged to follow the guidelines given. This will be your same password that you will be using to log in to any NTC computer. Continue to enter required information using your legal name. Your mailing address is used to send you your transcript upon completion, so it is important to keep this information updated if it changes. Don't forget to keep your email activated as well. Continue to fill out the information requested. Select Wisconsin when you are asked where you plan on taking your tests. You are an adult learner, so we'll select No when asked if you are currently enrolled in high school. If you will need to test with modified testing conditions or accommodations as discussed earlier, please indicate yes. If not, mark No. When you complete your profile, you will be brought to a screen called your GED Dashboard. This page will help you navigate the GED website. There is additional information about the tests, as well as study information and test tips. This is also where you will go to schedule your test and see your scores. There is information about colleges and careers. You may have some notes or alerts. You can open these by clicking on the icons. After you explore the website, you may log off. In the future, when you access your GED account, you will just need to enter your email and password. Do not create another account. One student created a new account each time she took a readiness test or scheduled a GED test. She had 7 accounts out there and was frustrated that she could not find her test scores. Each test score was recorded in a different account. The Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction, DPI, requires documentation of completing an orientation. To meet Wisconsin GED requirements, this DPI form will need to be filled out and signed by both you, the student, and your instructor, documenting your completion of the GED orientation. When submitted, it will activate your GED account so that you will be approved to begin testing. Important reminders for test day. No cell phones or electronic devices are allowed in testing. It is best not to bring them, but if you must, you will be asked to secure them before testing in the area provided.
You will need a valid Wisconsin ID. A Wisconsin driver's license or state ID are sufficient. If you don't have one of those, check with the testing center to see what other forms of identification they will accept.
It is important to arrive on or before your testing time so that you will have access to your test. You will be asked to sign a disclosure form at the time of testing to confirm that you understand the rules. Remember, as a child, you didn't learn how to crawl, feed yourself, walk, and talk all at once. It was a learning process. It is the same as an adult. Don't expect to complete everything in 1 week. Set realistic goals and talk these over with your instructor. Remember, It is a process. If you share your expertise about you, and we share our expertise in learning, together we can help reach your goal of completing your GED or HSED. After you complete your GED or HSED, it will be time to celebrate your accomplishments. Graduation is a time to invite friends and family to help recognize your hard work. Even if you have completed months before, or maybe are already a college student, it is still important to go through this milestone and be recognized. So please be sure to let us know when you have completed so we can make sure you receive your invitation. I hope we were able to answer some of your questions about the GED HSED process. However, be sure to see your instructor with any questions that you might still have. NTC looks forward to celebrating your accomplishments with you. See you at graduation.